Okay, let's continue, class. We'll continue with Hutch. It's an unnumbered question in your handout. What is the company's weighted average cost of capital? So basically, this is the first problem we're dealing with, wherein we will have three components for your WACC. You have your cost of debt, cost of preferred, and cost of common stock. In more complicated problems, class, sometimes it can be four. Cost of debt, cost of preferred, cost of retained earnings, and cost of new equity. That will happen if the equity portion of your capital budget cannot be financed entirely from your retained earnings. Okay, but I don't think that will come out in your CMA exam. So the question here is simply what is the company's weighted average cost of capital? So we begin with cost of debt. First bullet here is the company's bonds of a nominal yield to maturity of 7%. What does the 7 represent? This would be our cost of debt. And as always, class, your bond should be after tax. Are we given the tax rate in this problem? Yes, the last bullet tells us that the company's tax rate is 40%. So what do? Multiply 7% by 60%. I hope everyone understands where we got the 60%. That's the complement of your 40% tax rate. So 7% times 60%, that will give you 4.2%. Next bullet, preferred stock. The company's preferred stock sells for 42 a share and pays an annual dividend of 4. Here, there will be no growth for your preferred stock. So what do we use? Our perpetuity formula, which is just our dividend yield formula, which is dividend over price. D0 or D1 here does not matter because there will be no growth class. Okay, the dividend from your preferred shares will be the same. So 4 divided by 42, how much would that be? How much class? 9.52. 9.52%. Okay. Next, the company's common stock sells for 28 a share and is expected to pay a dividend of 2 a share at the end of the year. Again, the problem already specifies that that is your D1. But even if it was not specified, it's very obvious. Number 1, expected to pay. And number 2, at the end of the year. So obviously, the $2 there is our D1. The dividend is expected to grow at a constant rate of 7%. Two things we need, CGY and DY. CGY is simply our growth. How much is the growth for our common stock? 7%. Next, DY. What do we need for our DY class? What are the two things you need for your DY? Dividend over price. What dividend do we need? D1. Do we already have our D1? Yes, $2 divided by our price. How much is the price? 28. Are we going to make any deduction to our $28 per share price? No, because the fourth bullet tells us that the firm will be able to use retained earnings to fund the equity portion of its capital budget. So no flotation cost will be involved. So it will simply be $2 over 28. How much is 2 over 28? 7.14. But do not forget to add your growth rate of 7%. So that means the cost of internal equity would be 14.14%. Okay? And then what do you do? Multiply those costs of your capital components by the respective weights. How much was the after-tax cost of debt class? 4.2%. Multiply that by 40%. Next, how much is the cost of preferred stock? It was 9.52. Multiply that with the weight. How much is the weight of your preferred stock class? 10%. It's the preferred that is 10. Okay. Next, how much is the cost of internal equity or cost of retained earnings? 14.14. And then you multiply that with the weight. How much is the weight for your common stock? 50%. So the weighted average cost of capital should be 9.7%. So maybe this will come out. Next. Same question. So basically more of a comprehensive problem already. First bullet, company's long-term bonds currently offer a yield to maturity of 8%. Again, what does this represent? This is our cost of debt. And then, as always, it should be after tax. Are we given with our tax rate? Yes, 40%. So what do we do with the 8%? Multiply that with 60%. I will not explain anymore where we got the 60%. Okay, and then how much is 60% of 8%? That's 4.8%. Okay, then later on you will have to multiply that with the weight of your debt. How much? How much is the weight of debt, class? 25%. Next, common stock price is 32 a share. The company recently paid a dividend. Recently, class, that means this is D0. So what do we need? Determine D1. How much would be our D1? It is $2 times 1.06. Where did we get 6? The fourth bullet, it tells us that dividend is expected to grow at a constant rate of 6%. So $2 times 1.06, that would be 2.12. That is our D1. The company pays a 10% flotation cost. Okay, the company's target capital structure is 75% equity and 25% debt. The firm will be able to use the retained earnings to fund the equity portion. So that means you will have to ignore the flotation cost. So why should I emphasize this one, class? This is the first problem we've discussed where flotation cost is given but must be ignored. In the previous problems we've discussed, the moment there's a given for flotation cost, it was always relevant in the computation. Here, you are given the flotation cost, but it will be ignored. Why is it not relevant, class? Because according to the last bullet, the firm will be able to use retained earnings to fund the equity portion. So how much then? How then do we get our cost of equity? It is simply 2.12? 2.12 divided by the price of 32. How much is 2.12 divided by 32? 6.63. That is still your dividend yield. To get your cost of equity, what else do you have to do? Add your capital gains yield or your growth rate of 6%. So 6 point, how much is it? 6.23? 6.63 plus 6%, your cost of equity would be 12.63. So multiply 12.63 with the weight. How much is the weight of equity, class? 75%. So that would be around how much? 9.46. 9.46 plus the weighted after-tax cost of that, class. That should give you 10.67. Is that correct? $12.63 times 75, that's 9.47. And then 4.8 times 0.25 plus 9.47, that's 10.67. Class, what's the main takeaway for 131, class? Just because the flotation cost is given doesn't mean you have to use it. Do you follow, class? Okay, when When will flotation cost be relevant? Only if there will be new issuances. In this case, there will be new issuances only if retained earnings will not be sufficient to fund the equity portion of your capital budget. Next, 132. This, okay, another practice on the company can issue bonds at a yield to maturity of 8.4. This will serve as our cost of debt. Cost of preferred stock is already given at 9%. The risk-free rate is 6.57%. The market risk premium is 5%. Beta is 1.3. Assume that the firm will be able to use retained earnings to fund the equity portion of its capital budget. The company's tax rate is 30%. Okay, so first, cost of debt. Cost of debt is 8.4, and then after tax, how much is the tax rate? 30%. In all the previous problem, it has always been 40%. Okay, so please, hopefully nobody will multiply 8.4 by 60%. The 60% class is not fixed. It depends on your tax rate. So, how much would be multiplied to 8.4% cost of debt class? This time it would be 70%. Okay, so please do not commit those kind of errors, class. It's good that you practice, but you remember using 60% several times. But it's sad because you just remembered because you did not know where you got those numbers. 8.4 times 7%, that would be 5.84. 5.88. Next, that would be our after-tax cost of debt to be multiplied by our weight of 40%. Next, cost of preferred is already given, 9%. Cost of preferred is not after tax, so you simply multiply 9% with its weight. How much is the weight of your preferred stock? It is, in your capital budget class, how much? 10%? Where is that? First part of the problem, 10%. Okay, so 9% times 10%. Next, cost of equity. What method are we going, what model will we be using? The CAPM class or the capital asset pricing model. And what are the two things we need? What are the three things we need? Risk-free rate, market risk premium, and beta. Are all these three given? Yes. The problem is not even trying to challenge you guys. Next, market risk premium is 5% multiplied by 1.3. That would be, is that 6.5? 6.5 plus the risk-free rate of 6.57. That will give you 13.07. Okay, multiplied with your weight of 50%. So basically, the formula for your WACC would be 40% multiplied with the after-tax cost of debt of, how much was it? 5.88% plus 10% of the cost of preferred of 9% plus 50% multiplied by 13.07. So that will give you a WACC of 9.79%. Takeaway for number 132 class. You might think, class, because the problem said that the firm will be able to use retained earnings to fund the equity portion, that your cost of preferred will be ignored. Because the funding from the retained earnings is only relevant from your cost of common equity. Okay? So even if it says retained earnings will be sufficient to cover the equity portion, it is only referring to your common equity class. So preferred would still be included. Otherwise, your capital structure will not be complete. 133. This time a short-looking problem. Maybe this can be answered very quickly. What's the question? WACC. But normally, class, if the question is WACC, the process would be long. Capital structure is 60-40. At least we only have two components. The firm will be able to use retained earnings. At least quotation cost would not be relevant. Yield to maturity or the cost of debt is already given. Good. Are we given the tax rate? Yes, 35%. Risk-free rate is 6%, market risk premium is 6%, beta is 1.5. So we have everything we need. So first, cost of debt of 9% multiplied by 60%, 70%. No, this time it would be 65%. Hopefully everyone understands where we got 65. For the last time class, okay, it would be embarrassing to ask your seatmate where we got 65. We got 65% since it is the complement of your 35 tax rate. Why is this the first time you're using 65%? Because this is the first time wherein the problem's tax rate is 35%. What was the tax rate in previous problems? It was either 30 or 40. Okay? So 9% times 65%, that's difficult class. How much would that be? How much? 5.85. Okay, then you will multiply that with the weight of your debt, which is 60%. Then put that aside. Next, get your cost of equity. We'll be using CAPM. Start with your market risk premium. Market risk premium is 6% multiplied by beta of 1.5. That will give you 9%. And then you add the risk-free rate of 6%. That means your cost of equity is 15%. Multiply that with your cost, the weight of your common equity, which is 40%. 15% times 40%, that will give you 6%. And then multiply that with 60%, add that with 60% of 5.85. That should give you 9.51%. This is actually labeled already as a moderate question class. Okay, but we can answer this in 15 seconds. 134. What's the question? Still on WACC. So class, maybe for your midterm exam, we will not have questions really on rates and returns, and because they are already, but it will be too much also class if we will have, let's say, 40 questions on WACC computation only. So maybe we will still have questions on rates and returns. If you'll notice during the exam class, there were no questions on standard deviation, covariance, because that is not part of part 2, specifically in RCMA 3. But that will still. You have a question? I cannot hear you. Do you use that in the other classes? What was it? No, you cannot start it and that. But even if you settled it amongst yourselves, you have to let me know also. What is the issue? It's just like when someone tells you ba, ako istorya ni Waya, ganyan na lang. Long press, you have to press it long. Yeah.
Ang question na lang niya sir, kaya kung wala, multiply rates sa that. Pero na-realize na ako sir, multiply. Sorry, sir.
Okay. So where were we? For your exam, huh? Was I talking about the exam?
Yeah. Under debate.
Yeah. Okay, it's not part for, it will not come out under corporate finance, but it will come out in forecasting in RCMA 1. So I told Attorney Lieve, let it be a problem for RCMA 1. So even in your Becker class, you see that the questions on risk and return are very basic class, especially if you practice already on WAC. You will not have any issues on risk and returns for your CMA exam. Mm, 134. Very quickly lang. I think we can answer this quickly. Because if you can explain it in 1 minute class, you should be able to answer in half that time. Let me try to time. One, two, three. Capital structure that consists of 60 and 40, CFO. Before tax yield, maturity at the common bond is 8%. This is our cost of debt. So you will have to multiply this by, are we given a tax rate? Yes, 40%. So multiply 8% by 60%. That would be 4.8. We already have our after tax cost of debt. The company's common stock is expected to. So we'll be using dividend DCF. D1 is already given, which is 3 divided by the price. Are we given the price? Yes, 60. Retained earnings are able to fund equity, so quotation cost will not be relevant. So 3 divided by 60, that would be 1/20. That's 5%. 5% plus growth rate of 7%. That means cost of equity is 12%. 12% times 40%, that's 4.8. Then 60% of, how much was it? 4.8. I cannot do 4.8 times 6%. 26.8, 2.68. So you do that, then you add 12% times 40, 4.8. The answer here should be how much? 1 minute and 10 seconds. See, let's answer that. Was I correct? 12%, was it 12%? Is 3 divided by 65? Then plus 7, 12 times 40%, that's 4.8, and then 4.8 times 60%. Did I say 2.88 or 2.88 plus 4.8? 7 point, how much? 7.68. So the answer there would be letter E. So it's divided by 2. 70 seconds divided by 2. You should be able to answer this in 35 seconds. And the explanation I gave, class, you don't even have to say that when you answer the exam. You just have to input it in your calculators. Next. Which presentation do you like? The one in 135 or the one in 134? Wherein the given are in bullets. Bullets. Huh? You're looking at 135, I don't want to answer it anymore. What is the weighted average cost of capital? Target capital structure is 30, 50, and 20. Tax rate is 30%. The company has projects in which it would like to invest with costs that total 1.5 million. I think we need to know. Longstreet will retain. Okay. I think this would be a long problem. We'll retain 500,000 of net income this year. What does this tell us? This would lead us possibly to either our retained earnings or to our net income. To your dividends. The last dividend was 5. The current stock price is 75. And the growth rate of the company is 10%. If the company raises capital through a new equity issuance, the flotation costs are 10%. The cost of preferred is 9, and the cost of debt is 7%. You know that the problem is challenging, class, when you're already even with 2 of the 3 costs of your capital components. Because the problem is confident that from the cost of equity alone, you will have problems already. Okay, so we already have the cost of debt, which is given at 7%. Okay, and then you multiply that with the after-tax. To get the after-tax, you multiply that with, how much is the tax rate, class? 30%. This will come out in your exam. Okay, so maybe I will just switch the cost of preferred and cost of debt. Okay, and it will change everything already. So first, the after-tax cost of debt will be 7% times 70%. I will really not explain anymore where we get 70%. Okay, so the after-tax cost of debt will be 4.9. The issue now, class, is on your equity, class. Would it be from new financing or from internal financing, class? And with that, you would have to check your retained earnings breakpoint. How much then is your retained earnings? Out of your income, how much income did you earn last time? 500,000. And then $500,000, and then assuming everything goes to your retained earnings, since it did not say I don't know, the 500,000 is already the amount that will be retained. Longstreet will retain 500,000 net income. So out of your 1,500,000 project, class, whatever is the common stock component, you have 500,000 to finance it. So the question now is, how much then would you need? How much then would you need to be financed with new equity? The project that we need is 1.5, and then out of the 1.5, how much will come from common equity, class? 50%. How much is 50% of? 1.5, class? That is 750. Okay, and then, but how much retained earnings do you have lang? You only have 500. But how much must be financed from common equity? 750. How much cannot be covered by your retained earnings? 250. Okay, or that would be 1/3 of your equity. So that means the 250,000 must be financed from new issuance. This is what I want you to do na lang. I want you to come up with new weights. Okay? For cost of debt, for debt, our weight would still be 30%. If we convert that into amounts class, how much is 30% of 1,500,000? 450,000. So that means out of the 1.5 budget, 450,000 must be financed by them. Next, from your preferred, how much will be financed by preferred 20%, which is 300. So you have 450 and then 300. This is now the example class wherein our WACC will have 4 components class. Okay, this is now the scenario wherein our WACC will have 4 components. So first, for our retained earnings, how much can we finance from our retained earnings class? Only 500,000. Okay, so debt 450, preferred 300, retained earnings 500. What's the lacking amount? 400 plus 250, 750, and 500. You have lacking 250. Where will we get 250? New issuance. Okay, so 250,000 will come from new equity. With those amounts, I want you to compute for their new weights. Okay, again, this is what we're doing in class, and this is the problem by doing it step by step instead of doing it all in your calculator, because we will have to round off the percentages. But sige lang, for the sake of illustration, 450 divided by 1.5, cost of debt would still be 30. And then 300 divided by 1.5, preferred would still be 20%. This time, cost of retained earnings class, 500 divided by 1.5. How much? That's 33.33%. Okay. And then for your new equity, how much will be financed by new equity class? It is 250. So 250 divided by 1.5. That would be 16.67. Okay, so that would be our weight for our cost of equity. Take note how we will have 4 weights already. Okay, let's start with cost of debt. How much is our cost of debt? 7%. Then after tax would be 7% times 70%. Again, I hope everyone gets where we got the 70%. So that would be 4.9. This time preferred. Preferred would be how much? 9%. 9%. There's no need to get the after tax, so 9% will be multiplied by your weight of 20%. Now, for your cost of retained earnings, okay, Long Street, the last dividend was 5, stock price is 75, and the growth rate is 10%. How do we get our cost of equity class? CGY plus DY. Do we have our capital gains yield already? Yes, which is our growth rate. How much is the growth rate? 10%. Next is your dividend yield. What are the 2 things we need for our dividend yield? Dividend over price. We're given with a dividend of 5. Is that what we need, class? Is 5 our D0 or D1? D0. What do we need? D0 or D1? D1. So what do we do? Get your D1 by multiplying 5 by 1 point. How much is the growth rate? 10. 1.1. So that would be 5.5 divided by 75. 5.5 divided by 75. Divided by 75. That's 7.33%. Okay. What is that 7.33%? That is our dividend yield. Okay, what else we have to do? Add our growth rate of 10%. So that means our cost of retained earnings would be 17.33%. Okay, and then Multiply 17.33% with its weight. Again, what weight did we assign to our internal equity class or our retained earnings? What weight did we assign to our internal equity? 33.33%. Okay, so that's the third capital component. Fourth capital component would be your cost of new equity. Why will cost of new equity not be the same as your cost of internal equity class? Because of your flotation cost. Our cost of new equity will not just be 17.33. By the way, if we are to guess, will the cost of new equity be higher or lower than 17.33%? Will the cost of new equity be higher or lower than 17.33%? It would be higher class because new equity is more expensive than internal equity. Okay? In our computation class, in our computation for our internal equity or cost of retained earnings, what's the only thing we need to change? What's the only thing we need to change? Instead of the price being 75 class, instead of the price being 75, we will have to deduct it by, we will have to reduce it by with the flotation cost. Sige, let's start from scratch na lang for our cost of new equity. First, CGY. How much would be our CGY here? Still 10%. Are you following, class? Next, DY. What are the two things we need to solve for our dividend yield? Dividend over price. We have already computed for our dividend. How much is our dividend? It is 5.5. Next, price. What did we establish earlier? If we're solving for new equity, our denominator will not really be the price, but instead it will be the net proceeds. And how do you arrive at the net proceeds? How do you arrive at the net proceeds? It would be deducting the flotation cost from your price. Price is how much? 75, and then 75 times 90%. How much would that be? 7.5, 60. Is it 67.5? Is it 67.5, class? Okay, so how much is 5.5 divided by 67.5? How much, class? 8.15. Then you add your 10%. Your new equity would be 18.15%. Okay, so you multiply that with the weight we have assigned. I think our answer will be different from the choices. How much was our cost of equity, class? Was it 9%? Cost of debt is, was it 9%? 7. Multiplied by 70% also. And then multiplied by 30%. Next, cost of preferred is 9% multiplied by 20. Next is cost of internal equity. How much was it, class? 17.33 multiplied by 33.33% or divided by 3. Next would be 18.15 multiplied by 16.67 or divided by 6. Add all these 4. And our answer is not in the choices. What's the suggested answer for this problem, class? Based on my computation, it should be 12.07. But the answer given is 12.34. What happened? The last dividend, the cost of preferred stock is 9% and the cost of debt is 7%. Assume debt and preferred stock have no flotation cost. What is the average cost? I think to get 12.34, you will just use the 18.15 for the entire 50%, which I do not agree. So just to be safe, this will not come out along in the exam. Let's try to practice on some more problems, see if we can encounter similar scenarios. 136. I don't like the look of this problem. Non-callable bonds with 20 years maturity remaining and maturity now. We need a calc function here. We will skip 136. That was the answer here. This is alpha. 137. I think the same. Skip 137 also. Also 138. Also 139. Let's have 140. Gateway has a weighted average cost of capital of 11.5%. Its target capital structure is 55% equity and 45% debt. The company has sufficient retained earnings to fund the equity portion of its capital budget, the before tax cost of debt. And the current stock price is 45%. What is the growth rate? So this is a good problem. So we will include this in our exam. Instead of solving for WACC class, what happened here? We're given with WACC and we're asked to work back to get our growth rate. So we will have to work back. Okay, so how much was the WACC class? 11.5%. Okay, so we need to get first the weighted cost of equity out of the 11.5%. Since the WACC is 11.5% and the weight of your equity is 55%, we would know that the weighted cost of your equity would simply be 55% times 11.5%. How much is that? 11.5% times 55%. That means, is our cost of equity 6.325? No, that is your weighted cost of equity. So how then do we arrive at our cost of equity class? By grossing it up, because we know 6.325 it's the before tax will be circular. So if WACC is this is wrong. First, we start with equity debt. The before tax cost of debt is 9%. And then 9% times, get the after tax cost of debt, multiply 9% by 70%. 9% times 70%. That would be 6.3. That would be our after tax cost of debt. The next question is, how much of the 6.3 is included in your 11.5? So what do you do? Multiply 6.3 by how much is the weight of your debt? 45%. 6.3 times 0.45 would be 2.835. Let's not round it off the numbers. 2.835. So you deduct that from your WACC. 2.835 minus, deduct it from 11.5. That means the weighted cost of equity is 8.665. Okay? So to get our cost of equity, we will have to gross up the 8.665 by its weight, which is 55%. So 8.665 divided by 0.55 will give you 15.75. And what does the 15.75 represent? This is now our cost of equity. Okay, this is now our cost of equity. And then what are we looking for? We're looking for growth. So what do we know about our cost of equity? It is the sum of your dividend yield and your capital gains yield. And whatever is our capital gains yield will be our growth rate. So what do we do? Solve for your dividend yield and then deduct that from 15.75. And how do we solve for dividend yield class? Dividend over price. Okay, are we even with D1? Yes. Are we even with the price? Yes. So, no need for foundation cost here. So, 5 divided by 45, is this 90.9? I'm sorry, 11.11. So, what is that 11.11 class? That is your dividend yield. Okay, you deduct that from your cost of equity of 11.75 minus 11. Will give you 4.64. So that would be our answer. Because there's nothing new discussed here, class high. It's just that the process was reversed. Okay.